What is up YouTube and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. We have a new patch on our hands and we have the LUCIAN Rework completely unannounced. Ambessa Hotfix nerfed. They are all not within the notes, but I got you covered. I'll just show them in the later stages of the patch so we just talk about this one. But now, let's talk about the patch first. Strap in friends, it's the patch right after the premiere of Arcane Season 2. While this is a deceptively short patch note, it packs a punch, much like your favorite Arcane character. There might be something else coming soon as well, but we can't reveal it yet. We have a brand new game mode for you, as well as your regularly scheduled balance changes. So welcome to patch 5.3 and B. The content will be as usual released throughout the patch. First, we have new features, and we have Showdown. With the season of Arcane 2 premiering last weekend, we have a new limited game mode for all of you to enjoy. Showdown is a game mode where all players can choose an ultimate item immediately at the beginning of the game and unlock their powerful effects as the game progresses. Here are some ultimate items that you can expect in Showdown. Hextech Exoskeleton. Escape death through immunity while boosting your damage, regenerating your health back, and turning the tide. In the balance, upon taking lethal damage, become immune to death for 3 seconds, 1 second for ranged champion, and during this time, getting champion takedowns restores 30% of your maximum health and resets the balance cooldown. Wait, this sounds like, what is it? Renata Glask. So wait, could we be getting Renata Glask if we see this one here? Because it's exactly like kind of her ability, no? Interesting. Overcharge. Increase the damage by 10% plus an additional bonus based on missing health. The total bonus damage is capped at 25%. So this is similar to the old, Chemtank Dragon that we had on PC till it was removed, until it was changed later on. And this also sounds like very similar to Renata's ability, so maybe some Renata. Okay, next up we have Shimmer. Ignore the terrain to move freely. Strike your enemies at unexpected positions and get away after harvesting their souls. Form Shift. For 3 seconds after leaving combat, you gain Phantom Stride, which lets you ignore obstructive terrain when moving. Upon getting a takedown, you gain Phantom Stride, which cannot be interrupted, and a 30 to 60% movement speed bonus, which scales with levels for 3 seconds. Brutal Enhancement. Harvest 1 soul and deal bonus adaptive damage to enemy champions below 50% health. Champion takedowns refresh the cooldowns. Hello little spider on my microphone, what's up? Pow Pow and Fish Bones. Attack to your heart's desire. Supersonic High. You gain attack speed, which increases with levels, and movement speed per attack on enemy champions, which stacks up to 15 times and 9 times for melee champions. Ambidextrous Shot. Every third attack launches an additional attack. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Ginzu's Rage Blade. That's quite interesting, because a lot of these things look like similar things from PC, just ported into like different mechanics on WildRift, maybe to just feel them out to see how they function, so we then eventually get the item, for example Ginzu's Rage Blade. Any believers? Echoes of the Heart. Buff yourself or your teammate. You choose. Amplified Crescendo. Buffing abilities buffs 2 additional nearby champions. Choral Song. Increase shield strength and heal potency by 100%. Warden's Power Shield. Flip a coin and experience the power of exceptional sustainability, damage reduction, and you get to ignore penetration. You get to ignore what? See how long you can last in a team fight. Verdict. Take 30% reduced damage and toss a coin every 5 seconds. If it lands on heads, you heal for 15% of your max health. If it lands on tails, a lightning bolt strikes at your target location, dealing 10% of the enemy's max health as true damage to nearby enemies. This is like Old Redemption, right? Iron Law. Armor Pen and Magic Pen are ignored when taking ability damage. So that's that one. That's kind of insane. Like, how do you die even if that is in the game? How do you realistically die? Because think about this, you have like 100 armor, 100 magic resist, like 50% damage mitigation. How do you die? Anyway, Hextech Arm Cannon. Which random effect will you get? Bonus CC, true damage, or double cast? Hextech 6 Shooter. After casting an ability, your next ability gains honored effects, 40% chance to apply crowd control effects that last 1 second or 5 seconds. Okay, that lasts 1 second for 5 seconds? Hold up. Interesting. 40% chance to deal 25% bonus true damage for 5 seconds, and 20% chance to double cast for 10 seconds. Okay, what crowd control are we talking about here, yeah? Bejeweled. Damaging abilities can critically strike, gaining bonus critical rate based on the number of upgrade items you have. Okay, so this is the arena enchant, right? Yeah, this is the arena enchant. That mode is going to be cracked as hell. Events. Black Friday Madness. Complete missions by playing games and earn goodies. Black Friday Madness begins on the 11th of November. And now we move over to the hard part of the patch, the champion changes. Champion changes. Blitzcrank, your lovely robot. Blitzcrank can struggle in lane even if you're landing the hooks. We're tweaking his damage so his opponents can really feel his punches. Rocket Grab, the damage is increased by 10 flat on every level, like 10, 20, 30, 40. So on the highest level, it's plus 40 damage. The second ability is getting a change to the slow duration. It's going down from 1.5 to 1 and from 2 seconds to 1 second. And the ultimate is getting a change by 75 bonus damage on rank 1 and in total 75 as well. So what does this do for Blitzcrank? Okay, let's talk about Blitzcrank. Level 1, you hit a hook and you hit the wrong target. It doesn't do anything. What can happen as well? Level 2. Level 2, Blitz can all in a few cases, for example with a Samira, and net you the kill. But what is Blitz's biggest problem within WildRift? It's simply that he doesn't offer enough. From my perspective, just adding in more damage is not going to fix the problem. It makes him generally better, yes, but on PC, for example, his ultimate removes shields, which makes him a lot better, like a lot stronger into a lot of other champions. Imagine Shen, Nautilus, people with a Locket, Lulu, Kai'Sa, all of these champions, Riven, not Star, Gargoyle on top of Sterox. It is such a potent thing to have an ability to remove that one, but he simply lacks this one. So the question is, why would you ever pick Blitz over other supports that can do the same? Like, for example, why would you pick Blitz over Fresh, even though Fresh is not in the best states compared to before? But why would you do this? Why would you pick Blitz over Leona? Why would you pick Blitz over Nautilus? What is the intent of you to go for this champion? But yeah, he's definitely better. If they added the shield removal, he would be ST instantly. Samira's. Damage from Samira is noticeably lower than other marksmen, especially during the mid-game. We are boosting the damage from her ult to make sure she keeps... okay, guys, we have been here for the 19th time. What are we doing? We are buffing the same thing we have nerfed and buffed 19 times in 15 different patches. Samira is a duo champion. This champion is unplayable in solo queue, and here we are again. This champion only functions in duo. And what are they doing? They're buffing this one, and in 2 patches we see a nerf again that Samira has become too OP. The same always happens. Shyvana. This is actually a massive change, by the way. To farm her stacks, Shyvana needs to be tankier. We are boosting her survivability. Base health, plus 20. Armor per level, 4.3 to 5. Draconic Bloodline. Draconic Bloodline gained from saying epic monsters 8 to 10 stacks. Okay, isn't this a mistake? Isn't this like the big monster thing? This should be the big monster thing, no? Let me actually double check on another screen. Hold up, Shyvana, WildRift, because this should be most definitely normal monsters. Hold up. Slaying a large monster grants 8 stacks of Draconic Bloodline. So this here is wrong. It's big monsters, and this is a massive buff, because you gain 12 stacks for a full normal jungle clear, extra for free. Which means, now we're at this on top by the way, Dragon's Descent Fury gain per second is increased by 50%. On level 1, like from 1 to 1.5 a second, and later on from 2 to 2.5 seconds. So we have there like a 0.5 buff on top for free, and health gained during Dragon's Descent is also being buffed by 70. So Shyvana gains 90 health for free on level 5, completely for free, on pressing ult. In total, considering the base buffs, and the scaling is increased. So Shyvana basically went from maybe being an A+, S- champion, to a very solid S champion. Very solid S champion. Echo. As a mid laner, Echo's performance has been lackluster. We are making sure he has an easier time farming in lane to scale better into late game. Timewinder. Cooldown is being reduced from 9 seconds to 8, so it's a 1 second change, and the damage of the outgoing part is also being buffed by 5. Here's the direct comparison. And the returning one also by 5. But for jungle, we see a slight damage nerf, which is probably roughly the same. But the issue with Echo right now is we are buffing cooldowns of most used spells, because Echo's most used spell is his first ability, while also in the game we have Awakened Soulstealer. So buffing cooldowns on mages like this is very dangerous, because it really could put them over the edge, making them too strong. With this, he is most definitely a lot better in mid lane, simply for the fact that he has lower cooldowns and better wave control. It might not seem as big, but it definitely will help him out. Not putting him like too high, like becoming a meta broken pick, but definitely a lot better than before. Nautilus. Nautilus has been overly reliant on items to be tanky. False. We are boosting his base stats so he can soak damage for his team even early on. Base stats. Basic attack damage 58 to 62. Buffing Nautilus early game, okay. Dredge line. First ability 60 to 70 damage. Ability ratio nerf. Let me change the color of this one actually, so it's visibly in a better manner. So we have a flat damage buff here, as you see, and a damage nerf here. And the shielding of Nautilus is being increased in the flat department as well as in the scaling department. Okay, quick little info here. Nautilus never really relied on on many items to be tanky. All he needed was one item and the boots enchant. That makes him tanky, because then he has Gargoyle. Number two, if you start with Cure Nautilus, you most of the time lose because you simply lack the damage, because your second ability has the same damage, if not more. If you get to auto attack, which you will if you utilize Flash and then play Axe Slash, and then you are tanky thanks to Titan's Wrath. So I don't really understand why we're buffing Nautilus, because he doesn't need the buffs. People need to understand how to play the champion, and then it's going to be a lot better. But yeah, Nautilus will be a lot better now, even though he was already pretty much insane. Thanks, Riot Games. Rengar. Rengar has been terrorizing the Rift ever since his rework. Absolutely true. We're adjusting his damage so players have to choose carefully about when to jump in. Base stats from 480 per level to 3.5 per level. That's a relatively large. Savagery. We see a damage reduction in the flat department, -10. On the bonus damage of Savagery, the first ability. Then we see a nerf of the bonus damage with Ferocity by -10 here as well. Then we see the change of the empowered bonus boost. It's a -20% nerf. And here we have also a 20% nerf. Next up, we have a Bowler nerf, which is only in the scaling department. And we have another nerf coming for the scaling here as well. And the ult cooldown is increased by 10 seconds. Okay. Has been, like, if jungle was like a pyramid, Rengar was here. Like, he was the sun above the pyramid. Now, going back to the pyramid scheme, he is still up there. Like, he will still be up here. I'm pretty certain that he will still be up there. But the question is, if he's here, or if he's here. But he will most definitely still be up there. Milio. Milio is a well-rounded support who excels at making marksmen or helping marksmen achieve their full potential. We are adjusting him to give opportunities for his opponents for counterplay. What are the gentlemen at Ritoto Games doing to the man? They are lowering the base stats from 570 to 540 and lowering the base armor from 34 to 30. The bonus damage from the passive is being reduced from 15 to 10%. The Cozy Campfire cooldown is being increased by 2 seconds already instantly on the highest rank. It's 3.5 seconds. That is insane of a nerf, cooldown wise. We also have another range nerf coming in, which de-incentivizes putting more points into your second ability on Milio, but again, you have to put points in there for the cooldown. So they're lowering the value of this one significantly, which is a good thing because it's really annoying to face. And the third ability, Warm Hugs, is seeing a movement speed nerf by 2% across the board. Okay. So what does this do for Milio? Milio will not be killed as a champion. We've seen Lulu nerfs, we've seen Yumi nerfs, we've seen now these Milio nerfs. They will not kill the champion. The champion fundamentally will still have purpose, and the purpose is dealing with certain CC and engage. And as long as he is in the game, it will still fulfill this kind of thing. Because as of right now, you could say, but what about support Morgana? She is kind of similar in the sense of having Black Shield, but Milio does so much more. So he will still be good, but if we go back to like this, Milio was here, now Milio will be somewhere here. Either on this line or still in the upper part. But yeah, these champions are not getting nerfed in the sense of being bad, they are just less good. Janna, that is a very interesting change. Janna is a very safe support to play with. We are increasing our cooldowns to increase your decision making space when it comes to when to cast. Holding Gale. Charging time full level 12s, full level 14s. Am I misunderstanding this? I don't understand. Can anyone help me? I fail to understand the charging time thing. Anyway, the damage is also seeing a nerf. Interesting that we nerf Janna damage from 170 to 180 to 170, not that it makes a big difference. And the third ability is also seeing a change. In the early game, you're seeing that it has higher cooldown. Okay, quick take on Janna. Janna is a champion that doesn't usually indue the game. It just exists, so in winning games it seems overly overpowered, and in losing games it's like yeah, cool to have. She's a disengaged champion, she's more of a spectator, she needs the enemy to commit certain atrocities to be valuable, and she needs certain champions on her team to be really valuable as well. But given how she has been, or what she has been turned into, she really is more like, I just spam more buttons and see what happens, because there's little skill expression to what a Janna does nowadays. Now with this in mind, Janna's stats might seem inflated because the skill expression, if we talk about elos from this point to this point, if a bad Janna, like a terrible Janna, can play the champion to 90%, and a perfect Janna can play the champion to 100%, then where is that skill expression? For example, on the other hand, you have other champions like, I don't know, Yasuo. You can be an absolute griefer and perform only 50%, but it's still so broken that it one-shots everyone. And on the other hand, you have 100%, then you are absolute demon god and literally unkillable. But Janna, there's just nothing to do. There's just nothing to do. So obviously the stats, if the champion isn't horrendously bad, will be inflated, especially in an environment where people don't really know how to play, which in WildRift is incentivized due to, well, how matchmaking works. I don't really understand the Janna nerfs. Not really that needed, but I guess China wants it. Heimerdinger. Oh, finally. Thank you. We are adjusting Heimerdinger's power to lose his oppressiveness, or to lower his oppressiveness in the laning phase. The first ability, the turrets, are losing 10% scaling. We are finally touching what we had to touch on this champion. The turrets, nothing else matters. It's the turrets, bros. It's the turrets. The stun combo, we also nerfed the range, the stun range. This is all cool and stuff, but we are finally nerfing what makes Heimer broken. Because Heimerdinger, just placing turrets and being absolute mouth breather, will deal 1 billion damage and kill your entire team. And that's the problem. That it's too easy to deal a lot of damage with Heimer while it's being too safe. Way too easy. And for the upgrade, we also have the same happening here. We see a percentage nerf as well as a flat nerf to the damage. Yeah, so Heimer is now finally weaker. He is, like, again, this is so good because, like, Heimerdinger was here again, and now finally Heimerdinger is here. Finally he's there, finally. Finally he's no longer an auto-win game. Gameplay changes. Let's talk about the Lucian things first. Let's see if they have the full info here. Okay, quick little see. Like, this is Ambessa. This is translated from the Chinese website. This is not in the patch notes. So what are we seeing? Ambessa's getting nerfed. She is losing health value over level and armor growth. She is losing damage as well. As you see, the modifier here is being changed. Then we have the first ability cooldown. Don't look at the names of the spells. What we see here, also cooldown increased by 1 second. Then we have another like 2 seconds cooldown increase here on all the ranks. Then we see a massive nerf to the scaling of the shield value. So Ambessa has been way too broken. We all know this. We have all seen this. She got a buff on PBE before she was released, and this is the consequence, which is more than fine and more than good. And here we have the nerf. Will this kill her? No, it will not kill her. It will definitely, again, I love to do this. She was not this high up like Heimerdinger, but now she is closer to like being actually a human champion. Okay. And now for the Lucian rework. Again, the translation might be completely weird. So we have Lucian rework. What does this mean? First off, they are changing his base attack power from 64 to 58, which sounds terrible, right? But on the flip side, he's gaining 0.6 armor per level, and he's gaining 0.7 magic resist per level, which makes him a lot better into mages as a champion in terms of survivability, plus he's getting something else. When you get a recovery effect or shield given by an allied hero, like healing or shielding by allies, or when the enemy near you is crowd controlled. Don't look at the translation, it's messed up. It's literally the PC passive. If you get a heal or shield by an ally, or somebody close to you is being CC'd, like an enemy hero, the next 2 attacks you have will cause 20 plus 20% of attack power, bonus magic damage, up to 4 additional attacks. And on top of this, he is getting a buff in the late game by 5%, but a slight nerf in the early game to make up for the fact of this buff on the passive. because the passive is magical damage. And you know what this means. Now Lucian has an even more diverse profile, with PTA being adaptive, PTA having true damage component, and now him having more magical damage on top of having Solari and Rapid Fire or Magnetic Blaster, plus his access to On It is now even better. Because if you think about this, that he's having more resistances, he's more durable into mages, we can also argue a better access to more tankier and diverse builds, because mages are now a lot worse into him, in the sense of one-shotting him because he has so much MR that he doesn't get over or under that certain threshold of magic resist. Okay, cool. Let's get back to the patch. Gameplay changes. Keystone, Aftershock. We are improving the bonus damage from Aftershock and the survivability it provides for the champions that go up and close against and CC their opponents. Aftershock should be their #1 choice. Wrong will not be the case, because the issue is you're adding damage to a game where there's already enough damage, and what's the point of having more damage if the person dies anyway if they're CC'd? If you get Blitzsoaked, you usually die. If you get Leona CC'd, you usually die. If you get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you usually die. Plus these champions are tanky enough. Passive. Immobilizing an enemy champion grants 35 and up to 80% bonus armor now, and 80% bonus magic resist over 2.5 seconds. The damage is also now higher in the early game, as well as has scaling. What does this do? In reality, it doesn't do anything. It's worthless. It's completely pointless because we already have enough damage. What can you do with this though? You can play for fun. You can think about playing Leona with this Aftershock rune, but then the question is, why not just play PTA then if you want to have fun? Because Glacial provides you with AoE slow that is scaling with your HP, AoE damage reduction for your entire team if the enemy is inside, and it's kind of hard to escape from somebody who is Glacial on you. So again, they're trying to fix a fundamental problem with damage. So, for example, let's say they double this for whatever reason, then obviously this would be better because it's so much damage, then it's simply too much then. But at this point, what is the point? Because if it's so much then the support champion might just be able to 1v2 people. Because it's too much damage, AoE. But now, I don't know, I don't see it, I don't think it's necessary. And Aftershock is a cooldown. If it's on cooldown, you can be punished severely as well. And Glacial is something that enables you to play in an entirely different way. At least that's my opinion. Okay, Aram Changes, there is nothing, and I don't see any skins. Okay. Hammerdinger deals 10% less damage, Kerstin receives 5% less, and Gwen deals 5% more. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Come back for more RiftGuides content soon, and obviously check out in the description below how to get cheaper skins, and enjoy your time. Bye bye.